Hello. AMZ, how you doing today? And yes, I did check. Literally everybody's on. But I just want to chill today. I honestly just want to chill. Yo, my mac and cheese came out pretty good. I'm gonna turn myself down.
And his name is John C.
Amy! What's up, Amy? How you doing today? So today is a little bit of a different kind of stream. Now, why is it a different kind of stream? Because I know it's Amy's fault. We could just all blame Amy. It's a different kind of stream because I really been wanting to do something different, which is why I stopped playing Genshin as much on stream. I know, imagine eating food. This isn't even food. This is just an illusion of food. This is all a hologram. We're all just part of a simulation, Amy. But yeah, I want to venture into more things. Cause like I always tell you guys, this is very much a hobby for me. And anything I get out of it, I want to put back into it. So something I've been thinking about is podcasts. Now, podcasts are a very interesting topic in itself because it's a whole different genre of entertainment. Now, there are video formats of podcasts where there's many YouTubers who will do an in-studio version with cameras and everything. But then there's also the audio version, which sometimes they'll upload into Spotify, into iTunes, and where people can listen to the podcast there. So it's very interesting to think about that, because it's not just like straight up Twitch where you have an audience and you could have a little back and forth between them. Many times it's just you by yourself on a topic or with a guest. And the good thing about doing a podcast on Twitch is you don't necessarily need to do audience call-ins, which you could. You still can. Discord's a great device for that reason. But you also get that live feedback through the chat. So Amy, to answer your question, there will not be signups. But if this gets any traction, and I mean any traction, I don't mean like if we get 1,000 million views, if we get any traction. I may have more planned podcasts. Because it is a nice way to unwind, especially today for me is Friday. It's a nice way to unwind from the whole week. Maybe even process some thoughts. Have some goofs. Have some silliness. This is in zero way a serious podcast. If we touch on a serious topic, it's not because we want to, just it came up. But yeah, that's why it's been something interesting to me. Something very interesting. Hold on. Let me put up my little stream avatars. I forgot about that. Yeah, and see, that's the other part. That it's straight up talking for 2 hours. Well, not 2 hours. For a designated amount of time. Now, it depends on your upbringing and everything, whether you can or can't do that. I know some people can't. I know some people can. For me, talking for 2 hours, I just need a topic. I don't even have to know a lot about the topic. I could talk conspiracy theories all day long. There we go. There's our little dudes. And plus, the beauty of it is that I have a second monitor. If you can see, the light just changed on my face. Where I can just look up podcast ideas. And you guys can hear me typing and everything. Because I did change my mic a little bit. Unfortunately, the software that I was using, for me personally, I don't know anyone else who's had these problems, and maybe I need to tinker with something. NVIDIA Broadcast always gives me RAM problems. it goes into a RAM loop, meaning it just starts building and building and building the necessity for more RAM. And I don't understand why. I honestly don't understand why, but it just does. And yesterday it made my computer crash. But I don't know anyone else who's had that problem, so I'm just gonna have to look into it. But I didn't want to risk stream today, and yesterday I did not have any time to be able to do that. I was really busy yesterday. Picking my mom from work, then I got back home. I did honestly want to take a nap after eating my dinner, but I have to wait because I am trying to be somewhat a little bit better with my health, so I'm not trying to take a nap right after eating dinner. So I stayed up, cleaned my room a little bit. Once I felt a little bit lighter, then I laid down for a little bit. Spent time with the family afterwards once my dad got home from work. Stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, speaking about better health. So that's the beauty of it, that I'm going back to the whole microphone thing. That's why I didn't want to fiddle with it too much. Oh, thanks for reminding me to remind that. Yes, please. As our moderator, Amy, both my moderator, my rival, my nemesis, my greatest and worst enemy, take that how you will. We do have a community challenge here on the Twitch channel. I'm talking in a weird way in case I do decide to upload this anywhere else. Which I will. For sure it's going to go on YouTube. But who knows where else this goes. Don't know. But yeah, community chat. Ooh, it's 75% complete. I regret lowering it that much. Because it was originally at 100k points. And now it's at 50k points. And it did refund the points that everyone had in the first place. 78%? Okay, just that gave me the notification right here that it was at 75%. Wow. We're close. We're close. We're going to do a 30 minute workout session. We can do 30 minutes. But yeah, that's why my mic might sound a little bit differently today. And you can hear the clicking on my keyboard. Because I have to reinstall it. And I need to figure out what I did wrong. Because I can't blame the software. Because again, I don't see anyone else having that problem. But besides that, the beauty of it is you can hear when I'm actually looking for something up. I'm not going to hide that. Like right now, I'm checking out the 100 plus creative podcast topics ideas in 2022. So I was already looking over it just a little bit, just to get some rough ideas of what I could talk about. And it's funny because I was just like, you know what? I could just talk about starting a podcast. That could be the very first topic of the very first podcast. Now, what the frequency of these podcasts will be, I have zero idea. Honestly, I have no idea how often they will be. But nonetheless, they're pretty fun. Because it's just you, me, chilling out. We talk a little bit. We talk about what you want to talk. We talk about what I want to talk. And I get to see if anyone gets a little too saucy and I got to silence them. I also get to talk about how my macaroni is pretty bomb. Are you planning to actually podcast for an audience, or is it more personal focusing? Nah, it's just a personal thing. No. Again, for me, this is a hobby. Again, if it goes anywhere, amazing. If it doesn't go anywhere, it's fine. This is for me. And just to spend time with those people who want to hang out with me and want to talk about different topics. But this is more of a personally focused thing about, you know, life experiences that I or other people in chat, my friends, go through. Talk about video games. Well, we get our very strong opinion on video games. Like, how badly does Amber need a buff? Why is the only reason people hate Chi-Chi because she's the most common 5-star to get when you lose a 50-50? Honestly, I do think that's the reason. I don't know why, but I'm going to have to look at the statistics or start asking around and do my own little study of, is Chi-Chi the most likely to be wished when you lose a 50-50? Because I feel like that's the reason. It's not so much that people hate her. It's just that they get her instead of their 5-star, which makes her unliked. But I feel like she comes up with more of a frequency because a lot of people talk about getting Chi-Chi on their 50-50. So stuff like that, like anything from games just to life experiences. This ain't gonna be a stand-up comedy show because I am not a funny person. Takes bite of macaroni. This is also like a last minute decision, so I was just like, let me eat my lunch while I'm doing this. I honestly don't even know what I'm going to name this. I know I put Pengu Podcast, but I still got to think about what I'm going to name it. What do you guys think about name ideas? Because we're penguins, should we call it the not so cold truth? So during these podcasts, there won't be any interaction between you and chat? No, of course not. I mean, of course, correction, okay. Yes, there will be interactions. There's going to be interactions. All the redeems are still there. None of them are going to be deactivated. I'm still going to look at chat. I'm going to read chat. Because again, that's one benefit of having a podcast on Twitch, is that you don't actually necessarily have to rely on yourself for all the content. Although, again, you should be the source of it. But chat can also give little wordings that can feed off, the creator can feed off of. So that's what I think a benefit is of doing a podcast on Twitch or on other platforms where you could interact with chat at the same time and then upload it later, because you could just simply get that interaction and you can feed off of it. I've seen other podcasts that I really do like myself that I personally listen to, like there's the Aquarium Co-op podcast, and I think it's Tropical Fish. Can't remember the name of the podcast. But they're both fish people, and I started watching them ever since I started having my aquarium. My notification went off on my phone. Oops, sorry. I was watching a video of Shaq playing Family Feud or something like that. Hold on, let me just respond to this message. When I started taking care of these fish, not taking care of, when I got the fish and I wanted to take care of them, they're not active right now because they're all just like chilling out because they just got fed before the stream started. But I listen to those two, and I noticed that they do it not here on Twitch but on another platform. Just out of respect for Twitch. I know people are like, why are you getting respect of it? I'm on their platform using it. I might as well just not like talk trash. That's actually a good one. Messages from the South Pole. We're gonna think of that. Keep that one. Write that down somewhere. My God, the word just left my mind. We'll brainstorm. There you go. We'll brainstorm on that one. But they also interact with chat. Now, since they are much larger creators already, they really only interact with chat that donates or in some sort of way has already monetarily supported their channel in a monetary way. Fortunately, for right now and for the immediate future and near future, I don't have to do that because we have not that many people watching, so I can read all the messages. So that's the good thing. Just getting a little bit more of my macaroni. So yeah, so that's basically the plan of what these podcasts will be. Mostly it's just talking about whatever is on the mind, whatever happened this week. We're not going to get into politics. Let me get that very clear. We're not going to get into politics. We're not going to get into religion. We're not going to get into any kind of activism. Because it's just going to be a chill place to escape from the reality that we live in. There's other podcasts you can watch for those things that may or may not do a better job, but I reserve those conversations for the privacy of me and the people I talk to about those things, because I have friends that I disagree with on certain topics, and we always come out civilized, and we still end up going to each other's houses and watching funny movies like Austin Powers. But like on a free form like this, I don't think it would be the smartest idea. Because I was thinking about different name ideas, and we're going to have to search them up as we go today. Like, messages from the South Pole. It's a little bit wordy. Maybe like, and I'm not saying too many words. I'm just saying it doesn't flow, although it does transmit the message. It's like this, what I was thinking, not so cold truth. Let's see if anything pops up. Yeah, so that's probably one that we could think about, not so cold truth. Let's go through these. You know what? Just because we can, let's I'm gonna have to make another scene later on for when I'm wanting to. What's just chatting? Oh no, that's just the. Just switching scenes, but that one's not gonna work. Sit back in the freezer. Shut the freezer. I'll be right back. My mother needs me to put chicken in the fridge. It could be something that doesn't imply the act of conveying a message. Exactly, that's actually true, because we're not even trying to convey a message. This has zero purpose of actually, because both of us were there, you with the truth, me with the messages. Because the reason I'm saying not so cold truth is because when people say, I want the truth, it's like the cold truth, meaning like it's it might hurt. It's fresh. And mine is a not so cold truth, because it's like there is no truth here. It's just literally just me rambling on with some of my friends about a medley of topics. Say, you can't handle the truth. That's such a good scene. Say, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Good scene. Very good scene. I don't know why that scene also reminds me of the movie Sully, the one about the pilot who landed the plane in the river. How when they're reviewing his case, they start asking like, oh, you could have done this, you could have done this, which I heard supposedly. I'm not super sure about how this actually went down. Apparently, the actual pilot said that it wasn't like that. That they were actually very nice to him the whole time. It wasn't like an interrogation, because it's just standard practice to review those kind of things, those incidences. But in the movie, at least, they're like telling him, you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this. What about this? And then all of a sudden, that's when Tom Hanks's character just looks at them and says, "Can we get serious? Can we get serious?" Like, all right. It's like, all right, you guys had your fun about accusing and all that, but now can we actually talk about what actually happened? I really like that. Let's see. Do we have a window capture? Oh, here we go. There we go. Emperor's Corner? Nah, I feel that's way too narcissistic. Double checking that nothing's gonna be shown. If I highlight this, highlight this, highlight this. Nah, there's no personal information on this, which is good. Get it, since penguins have a genus called Emperor Penguin. Yeah, I know, like Emperor Penguin. I enjoy that. I do enjoy that. And I like the fact that Emperor Penguins are, in fact, my favorite genus of penguin. But I feel like Emperor's Corner, it would feel like it's referring more towards me, and I am no emperor. I don't got the groove. That is such a good movie, Emperor's New Groove. It's like, yo, you're ruining my groove. And then there's that spin-off show of Emperor's New School, which he had to go to school to learn how to be an emperor. Which is weird. Like, the concept was weird, but it's still cool. So yes, like, I was looking at this website a little bit, and there's different topics here that we can go through when it comes to podcasts. So yeah, the whole topic about this podcast is what are podcasts and what is my plan for my podcast. I'm just double checking there's nothing on the screen that's not supposed to be shown. Behind the scenes of an industry. If you guys want to ask me questions about that kind of stuff, or I could talk about that kind of stuff, like, the industries I know are plumb away. We determined that it's a personally focus, so now we need the goal. Amy, I repeat, this is not a serious podcast. There is no goal. There is no goal. This is, I sit in my chair and I talk. And chat talks. And we all talk. And if no one talks, then I just talk aimlessly for a while. There is no goal. It is meaningless. We're here to be brain dead for a little bit, to relieve ourselves of the stress of life, especially because it's Friday. And we honestly just need to relax on Fridays. And some people, Friday doesn't even mean a lot to some people, because some people work on Saturdays. Like, my mama gotta work tomorrow. And I'm like, dang, that sucks. It's only a half day, but still. Fine. Feathered nihilism. Oh, God. Amy, you start a podcast, and you may talk about your serious topics. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, like, when it comes to industry stuff, and I'm also reviewing this just so we have something to talk about, but also I can see about Like, what could I come up when it comes to these topics, if I could even relate to these topics? Like, behind the scenes of an industry, plumbing, that's what I used to do. Finances, but that's a different topic. That's what I know. Twitch. Like, these are ideas for me to talk about, and if you guys want to participate, y'all can participate. It's not required. Let me actually just double check that that the alert did in fact go off. Where's the other one? Okay, there we go. So those are the industries that I personally know of that I could analyze, because those are the ones I truly have in mind that I know. Other industries I probably don't really know much about. Take your listeners on a journey, personal podcast. Are you thinking about writing a novel, learning, document your experience as you go? Oh, that's true, the progress. See, and this could be good for my journey to getting a little bit healthier again. I could explain what I mean by being a little bit healthier, my personal definition of that, what I am doing. I know I just ate macaroni, Kraft macaroni. That's not really good for you, but it's that's the quickest thing I had because I didn't actually have anything. I gotta go to the that's what I meant to What do you mean goal? What do you mean goal? I'm not understanding your definition of the word goal. So that's another idea. I think we might be getting. You might be saying goal when I'm saying idea. I'm not sure if that's what we're misunderstanding each other about, Amy. So yeah, I'm gonna get that done. So that's a good one too. My personal journey into fitness, what I mean by fitness. In my own case, might actually talk about that in a little bit. But again, it's only gonna be like an hour and a half max, because we can talk for a while. Well, it's not a goal; it's an idea, because the purpose of the podcast as a whole is not to document it. These are just ideas to talk about. Because when I think of goal, it's like, what do I want to get done with this podcast? This podcast isn't going to get anything done. I'm going to get things done outside of the podcast. This podcast isn't going to help me. Isn't going to help me get more into fitness or anything. It's not going to keep me accountable, because again, it's up to me if I talk about it or not. Oh, well, then that's the goal, is to numb our minds for a little bit. That's the goal. Let's numb our minds a little bit and just chill. So that's why we're going to talk about chill topics. Or we're just going to make ourselves angry with the dumbest topics possible that really don't matter. Like, some people get so upset about sports, and I love sports. It's a spoon and a fork in one, and it does a decent job in both those jobs. Now, it won't pierce through a steak, but if you're eating a steak with a spork, you're doing something else wrong. Like that, yeah, you need a steak knife and you need a good fork. But like my mac and cheese, I would like a spork. That's a perfect time for a mac and cheese. I don't want to use a spoon. I feel like I'm shoveling food in my mouth, and a fork, you gotta stab it. It doesn't stay on. This one's like, you stab it a little bit, and then you shovel the rest of it in little by little. That's a little bit more comfy. Clueless newbie and podcast ideas for beginners. I'm a clueless newbie and beginner, so I can't tell you guys what I did. Well, you could take this, but We're looking at like. By the way, this is from this website, just so I could give them credit. Riverside. It's the very first thing that came up on Google when I looked up podcast ideas. So, credit to them. It's 100+ reasons. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. If y'all get something out of this, awesome. If not, it's okay. I completely understand. Let's look over here. Now I'm just checking something because my friends are inviting me to do a raid on Destiny 2. But I do not have the campaign. Apparently it's a campaign raid. I'm not going to buy the campaign. I really want to, but I just can't right now. I have some other expenses I need to take care of. So is life. But that is why we're going to numb our minds and forget about that. Tell the story from different points of view. Podcast story ideas. Meh. I guess that's more for creative people. Did I just call myself uncreative? Yes I did. But yeah, no, I get what that means. I'm looking at the description right now, and it's talking about how you could like rearrange and like it's kind of like what they did with that one movie, Maleficent. Oh no, like the play Wicked. How they tell it from the witch's point of view, and not Dorothy's point of view. That's kind of what it's saying. I actually really like that. It's actually a really fun thing to do. Snowy abode. Abode is an interesting word, and I like it. Let's write that one down. Let's write that one down. Put a pin on that one. I like that one. You're starting to get it, Amy. You gotta lower your IQ another 15 points, and you might get to my level. I don't make self-deprecating jokes because I actually think I'm worthless or anything. I just do them because they're funny to me. It's like, I want to chill. Let me just chill for a second and like lower my IQ a little bit. I don't want the pressure of like having to think and be big brain all the time. I don't want my wrinkly brain. I want to smoothen it out sometimes. Let me iron it right now, and then I'll leave it in the sun later on when I'm going to need it to be wrinkly. Documentary. A documentary on like what's going no, I don't think we're gonna be doing documentary. Let office be your guide to study workplace and you study of the workplace. Actually, if it's like a study, then yeah, that would be like, why do people like is Chi-Chi hated because she's the most likely to come out? I feel like they probably do have like a secret like increase in losing 50-50s that you'll get Chi-Chi. And I think that's the reason people don't like her. Like, they planned it. But we can, in a little bit, we're going to talk about, if we get to the gaming part of this, we'll talk about Zhao a little bit. Because him and the other set are very, very interesting. In the day in the life of... that's also true. I have some day in the life, so... The artifacts are designed for certain characters, and they've been doing that a little bit more often each time now, which I'm not mad about. It's just with the Zhao one, I'm trying to think who else that could go with, because the thing is that it's continuous. It's 4 instances of losing health, so to fully benefit from it, you have to lose 4 times, and you can't lose too much, or else we're gonna die. Technically, also, it triggers off using burst, and you're fighting the bloodhounds, the ones that make you bleed. It'll turn on, which is interesting. But there's not a single artifact from Kokomi's set that doesn't have at least 1 crit stat. What do you mean? Like, you haven't gotten one that's not crit rate? or that doesn't have a crit rate substat, that's just unlucky for you, especially with Kokomi. Like usually, yeah, because usually you would be happy for that, because that's usually a good thing that you want at least one crit rate substat on an artifact. But for Kokomi, you don't want it, so you actually have to hope not to get crit rate, and it might be rigged to get you that crit rate. So you have to keep trying. Yeah, but I think that Zhao's new is it Vermilion? Is that the one that is his? It's a little bit too on the nose for him. I just think that happened to you. Unfortunately. Like me, people are like, "Oh, I've never gotten an onset this, I've never gotten an onset that." I'm like, I get a lot of onsets. The thing I have trouble with is getting attack sands. Like, the attack sands for me is the hardest one. I always end up having to be like, I don't have enough attack sands for everyone. Again, that's 2 instances of a how many players? That goes back to the whole documentary thing. If you want to make a study and double check it, double check it. But yeah, that's only one. And the other set, I've heard people are looking at it for Yoimiya and Ayato. I don't know enough about him because I really didn't pay attention too much to him because he doesn't call my attention, although he looks like a cool character. So I'm not sure how much he's gonna be able to trigger that. I know Yoimiya is gonna benefit greatly from that, greatly. Which I'm happy because she's gonna get a huge attack boost. But we still have to see how that's gonna go because 4-piece Shibunawa is pretty good for her. It also depends on the weapon that you're gonna be using her. But yeah, I don't mind them making artifact sets tailored to 5 stars. I just feel like this one with Zhao was a little bit overly tailored. It's too fit. It is the skinny pants of Genshin artifacts. They're a little too tight. If you're not that size, they're not going to fit. That's my analogy for the day. So yeah, day in the life of, we could do that for a couple of my professions. Mystery theme. No, it's like you go through the whole podcast and then you just realize like, oh, by the end of it you're like, oh, he was always telling us about this person's life and how, oh, this. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not big brain enough to think that many steps ahead. Oh no, I'm gonna build Zhao now. See, now the artifact set is there. I'm gonna build him. Dude, so let's talk about video games a little bit. So last night, I was playing Genshin. And thank you, Nightbot. Join the Discord. We have these topics all time over there. So I was playing Genshin last night. And so I finally got my Raiden national team. So it's Raiden, Xingqiu, Shangling, and Bennett. Raiden's level 80, but the other 3 are level 70 out of 80. Now their talents aren't perfect. Like Shangling, she only has level 8 Pyronado. Xingqiu has level 8 and 8. So that's the only decent one. So then I went into Spiral Abyss and I cleaned floor 9 and 10 with no problem. Didn't even sweat. I go into floor 11, can't get past the first lector. I go back, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, okay, I still gotta work on them. Like, I knew I had to work on them. I had completely forgotten that both my Xingqiu and my Shangling was missing a circlet. She didn't have a circlet on. And all the rest of her weapons were level 0. And then my Xingqiu had all level 0 artifacts also. I'm like, that just shows how busted that team comp is. Yeah, and then 2.6, I'm going to get a free one, so I'll finally have C6 Xingqiu for free. I wouldn't have to sweat about it. Hello, Spray welcome to the podcast. So then I leveled up all the artifacts on those two to only level 8. Only level 8. I cleared the 411 no problem. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did sweat a little bit at the end, but it was not a problem. And I got in the 9 stars. And I haven't even touched 412 yet. And I was... No, wrong, sorry. On the 3rd chamber of 411, I got 2 stars because of the second half. I was off just by 10 seconds. But that was before me truly understand. That was me still learning the whole Riot National team. I got 8 stars on floor 11. And it was only because by 10 seconds on chamber 3 second half, I didn't get it. And I didn't pay attention or else I would have restarted. But I'm going to try it again. Because it is very possible. It probably will. But it was just amazing of how ridiculously OP these the Raiden national team is. It is amazing. What's going on outside? Oh. I was just checking because that was just a garbage man. It was ridiculous how much of a power difference that is. That Raiden national team is way too strong. And I'm still trying to learn it. I'm not even good at it yet. And it is a brain dead team also. It's like, this one is just like, just let everyone use their bursts. And then Raiden uses her burst last. And then you get everything back. My usual Eula burst, like, I think it's actually reaching 200k now. Like, it can reach 200k at times. Like, average 180. But I think it can reach 200k. Because it pops and I don't have to really worry about many people. Okay, business. We're not going to talk about business. Too serious. How to podcast ideas. First, you might choose topics throughout your show, just as gardening. Choose the mini topic for each episode. How-tos are easy. But make it funny. Oh, and how to while being funny about it, so you're just trying to how to fall off your bike in an embarrassing way possible. That's amazing. That's good. That's good stuff right there. Eula burst for the Bathismal Bishops on 412. Bathismal. Oh, okay. Nice. See, my Eula team's not the one I'm worried about. It's the Raiden national team. Because even though it's good, it still has a lot of room for improvement. Because it is not min-maxed in any way, shape, or form. It's seriously just main stat artifacts with the worst substats possible. And I don't mind at all. I really don't mind. And it's already being able to clear up to floor 11 pretty easily with me being such a noob at times. And by times, I mean most of the time. My Eula team is a lot better built. The only thing I would have to think about is my Electro player right now is Beto. And I really like Beto, but I may... How many stars did you get in total? 9, 9, 8? Yeah, so 9, floor 9, 9, floor 10, 9, floor 11, 8. And I haven't even touched floor 12. I haven't touched it at all. But yeah, that's a really good team if y'all want to just sweep through everything in the game. Oh, I know about the Wolf Lord. I fought the Wolf Lord. The Wolf Lord, again, we've talked about this last time, Amy. Is like, I prefer fighting the Wolf Lord than most other people. The Wolf Lord is not annoying to me. And I really like his design, how he looks like a weird little snake. Really? Well, right now I'm running Sacrificial on Bennett because I don't... that's my highest base stat weapon right now. I need to I think Roncore is gonna be the one with the higher base stat. But for right now, that's my highest base stat, and I have Xingqiu with Favonia sword. It's only level 50, and I have Dragon's Bane or Spine, whichever was the one that has the Elemental Mastery on it. That one's level 50 on my Shengling. Whatchamacallit? And then Raiden has the catch. Yeah, it's really not that well built of a team. Oh god. My Bennett, I have put a little bit of work into it. Not a lot, just enough to get by. But yeah, I'll lick your build. We're only gonna be here for a little bit. So what am I? My mom wants to know, wants me to start thinking about dinner. I'll think about dinner. A book club. I don't read. I don't read books. Book recommendations. I don't read. I may be able to build my Bennett without farming Noblesse once. Once what? Or 4 once? Or 20 sack and 10 to 14 artifacts. Nice. Comedy and funny podcast topic ideas. People love to laugh if you're budding stand-up. I am not a good stand-up comic. Why'd the chicken cross the road? Why are you asking? It's a chicken, dude. You have better things to do? You see a chicken, all of a sudden you can become a detective? It's just a chicken. Get on with your life. What, you don't have anything else to do? Find something else to do. It's a chicken. Oh, you're wasting your time on that poor chicken questioning its motives when it's just a chicken. It probably got lost or something. Top 10 list. Definitely top 10 list. We're gonna do top 10 list. Also tier list. That's just a given. I may be able to build my Bennett without farming the Noblesse domain. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're just using strong boxes, or it's not that bad. Well, the thing is that you're not going to get any benefit out of Bloodstain because you're not using anyone with Bloodstain. So, yeah, for me it was beneficial because I got Bloodstain, so that's why I got two piece on Eula. And they're very decent. They're very decent substats. Short stories. You know what? I actually do have a couple of short stories I've written. I might share them. They're like children's stories that I've made up for different kids I've taken care of. Another thing people don't really know about me, whenever I've taken care of kids, to read them to sleep or whatever, I just make up whatever. I just tell them choose an animal. It's like this animal. Okay, here's a story about the little panda, and I'll create a story. I have no idea where the story is going. But I have a couple. Music podcast. I enjoy music. But I'm only going to be giving opinions on music probably. Movie and TV reviews. Definitely we can do that. We can definitely talk about that. Just means I'm actually have to use my subscriptions on Disney Plus and stuff like that. Like, I haven't seen Turning Red. I do want to see that one. It looks interesting. Nerdy stuff. There's a you'll find audience obsessed with you. Dirty talking wrong with it. Yeah, nerdy stuff is just video games, basically. That's the only nerdy thing I really know about. History? We're not going to go into history. No, I'm not doing that one. Narrative podcasts. True crimes. No, focus on what's local to you. Yeah, that's also gonna be another one. Talking about local events, how things are around my area. So Genshin, there's an anime. Oh, definitely. If Genshin gets an anime, that's gonna be awesome. I would definitely watch that. But I'm kind of curious on like what kind of anime I would want to see out of it. Like, of course, it's gonna go. If they make an anime, I would like to see an action anime. Um, but then I would like Attack on Titan, like the spin off they did, the Attack on School or the School Titan, whatever it's called. I would want to see spin offs of Genshin in school life. Um. Oh, and you could make like no. If they're all the students, then that'd be more interesting. Like none of them would be the faculty or the staff of the school. It's just all of them as the students. Because there's too many characters that would fit into the dean or the principal role. So it could be more for like student body president, the different clubs. And I always have liked how they do schools in anime because there's so much more activity than in standard American schools. How they portray it. Because it's like, oh, look at this club. Oh, look at this club. Like, if you're part of this club, like in Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma, I think it's called. How they have entire research parts that will research a food on how to make it better, and they even have their own sponsors and stuff. It's like, we don't have those kind of clubs and stuff at our high schools. I want to see something similar to what they did with Honkai. What did they do with Honkai? I'm actually not familiar with that. Let's see. Yeah, but local events, we could talk about local events, even community projects. If I see something going around, like the parks that we have in my neighborhood, I really like them. They're beautiful. Art. It's funny, these two topics actually relate to each other because there's this place here in LA called The Broad, which is an art museum. And for some reason, for some unknown reason, we go there all the time. And when I say we, I mean people from LA. Like, there are some people who enjoy art. The thing is, most of the time they have the exact same art pieces everywhere. And so you go there and then you go get dinner. And I'm like, I understand some people they enjoy art, even if it's the same piece, they find something new in that piece each time they go. But most of the time it's just like, I saw this already, can we just go eat dinner already? Why are we trying to look like intellectuals? I am monkey. I'm not trying to pretend I'm intellectual. I just want to eat dinner. Why did we plan to go to the Broad first? Like, don't get me wrong, again, I like it. And there was, it's been open and closed periodically due to the pandemic, called the Getty. It's also a museum. And there, they do a lot of different expos. They'll constantly rotate things, and that's what I absolutely love about it. So it is worth going at least once a year, once every 6 months, because you'll get new stuff. They have in-game cinematics and anime style on YouTube, and they have a mini-series called Cooking with Valkyries, which is really wholesome compared to what happens in-game. Oh, see, that's what I would like. Like something like that, something completely off of what the game is about. The thing is that Genshin is much more lighthearted, so I feel like it'd be a lot easier to go with lighthearted topics and even bringing in the game mechanics into it. Like Ling, she cooks. Economics, I think, or home education. I forget what that stands for. So it's a class that my school no longer had when I was in high school. Thanks. actually want to learn at school. What's going on over here? Just double checking stuff. Okay. Oops, wrong one. So I think Genshin would be a lot easier because a lot of them already have professions in the game that they could just transfer over, or they could just completely refresh them and make them do stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think of them doing within the game. Personal finance, that's a slippery slope, but I wouldn't mind talking about it if anyone has any. This would be more if people have questions about how I manage myself, and maybe stuff like how they can manage themselves. Guided meditation. You know what? I actually really like guided meditation. That's like the best thing. Guided workouts. Now, we definitely are, whenever we do workout streams, because the community challenge is going to be constant. It's going to be a constant thing that whenever we get there, we're going to do workout streams, and I'm going to do it in the style of an instructor. Because that helps me not get tired too fast, because I feel motivated because I'm trying to teach someone. And so me trying to teach someone, it just feels a lot nicer. It feels much more relaxed. Doesn't feel like I have pressure. Podcast for kids? No, we're not going to aim directly to kids. We're not going to market directly to kids. Prepping? Oh, this is like... Oh, preparing anything. Okay. Preparing for a zombie apocalypse? Possibly could. Oh, hello, Amy. Possibly could do that one. Just preparing for things in general. Yeah, we're just doing story time right now. Penguin story time. Something that basic. I am pretty basic, though. Pop culture. We're not going to do pop culture. I don't want to become a... Everyone covers different stories. Everyone does different news. I'm not going to do pop culture. I'll talk about rocket ships if they land like on another planet. Because I think that's cool. Celebrity interviews. Okay, we're gonna do celebrity interviews on this podcast, guys. We are going to be interviewing... Who's someone famous y'all want to hear about? We're going to invite Saikuno onto the podcast. Saikuno, if for some weird reason you watch this or you listen to this, come on my podcast. I promise you it's going to be the most awkward podcast possible. I actually really like Saikuno. He's just chill. He's so chill. Oh, it'd probably end up just being like Twitch or YouTube, and I'm not. Like, someone who does that kind, and I really like how they do it, even though it's a little bit raunchier, but I do enjoy their content from time to time, is Code Miko. Because she does very good... It is an interview, but it's also just a conversation. And it's very fun. It's very fun. She doesn't make it awkward at all. Because that's something I don't really like about certain, I'm not going to say which ones, but certain talk show hosts. They make they purposely, it feels like they are purposely making the interaction uncomfortable for people. I've seen other talk shows where when they see the person's uncomfortable, they'll switch on the topic. And I like that. It's like, why are you going to make them uncomfortable? It's like, let's just have fun. Why put people in weird situations? News and politics? Hey, no. Thank you for that one. Crafting. We could talk about crafting. I don't know what we're going to craft. I have some Play-Doh. Look. For our Twitch viewers and YouTube viewers. I have Play-Doh. I really like Play-Doh. Personally, I use Play-Doh for anxiety. I have anxiety problems. I do take medication for that. After years and years of doing other stuff to try to help it. And I have Play-Doh. It really helps. And it's constructive, it's creative, and it's squishy. I like the squishy. ASMR. Do you guys want to hear my ASMR? Hold on. Welcome to the ASMR segment of this podcast. I am your host, Yee the Penguin. Thank you, and that is all. Yeah, we're never doing that ever again. Chaps helps me with that. Yeah. Well, how often you don't play chess too often though, Amy? Why don't you play more often? Just go on chess.com. Not everyone's gonna be a hacker. If we were all to stop playing games because there's hackers, most games would honestly just be out of business. Marketing. I have ideas about marketing. I have my own opinions on marketing. Marketing is a very interesting thing. I mostly stick to puzzles though. Oh, okay. Yeah, puzzles are more fun because again, they're single player. They're IRL single player games. Or they can be co-op. Or they can be competitive. Like, if you're putting pieces, I could just take them off and make your life worse. Excuse me. Marketing's a very interesting topic. I actually do enjoy the topic of marketing. Pets. We have fishes, and we have a lizard over there. We can talk about pets for a while. I love animals. Teach people random skills. That would mean I would have to have my own skills in the first place. I have no skills. Psychology. I'm not gonna go into psychology. I am not big brain enough. If we ever interview someone who is more into psychology, then we'll do it. But it's always a slippery slope because I don't want to talk about psychology of like, why are people horrible? Why is there evil in the world? It's more like, why me do these like this, huh? Oh, because normally the chemical compounds in the brain act like this and they react like this. It's like, yes, interesting, yes. I want the science, not the opinion of what's someone's problem. Relationship exploration. We can go into that lightly. Yeah, we could do that lightly, relationship stuff. Because there's some universal rules. There's a lot of non-universal rules because every relationship is different, and that's basically my advice. Every relationship is different, and communicate so you can see if your idea of relationship and the other person's relationship is actually a good thing. Like, it's actually compatible. DIY and creative podcast ideas. That's basically the same thing as the other one. Life hacks. I don't know. Food. Yes. We're going to be talking a lot about food. We might even go country by country or state by state. Because even different states, different provinces, different counties, they have different food. And it is amazing. Food's just an amazing thing. It's so universal. It could be a nice experience. It could be something you talk the most serious, the most silliest of the most serious or the most silly of ideas possible. Technology. Yes, also another yes. We're definitely going to be talking about technology because I love technological advancement. I am also someone that says don't buy into something. Don't be the very first person to buy into something because that could end up badly. Because technology is something that's advancing so quickly that there are sometimes steps that are missed. Or there are certain sacrifices you're going to have to make at the beginning because it's not something that's integrated too much into the society we live in or into the products we already own. So it's something you're going to have to realize you're going to have some drawbacks for the moment. An example of that is with Apple products. They released their M1 chip a while back, which basically is just their own processor. A lot of us gamers know that there's AMD chips and Intel chips. Those are the main two big companies, if not the only two big companies. And it's always choosing between those. But now Apple has their own M1 chip, which is an Apple processor, only available on their products. Now the thing is that programs have been made to be able to be interpreted by the processor. So so for the time being, things basically have to be emulated through their program that I think it's called Rosetta Stone. Or Rosetta, just Rosetta. Something like that. But it's an emulator program that basically has to interpret it for the processor, which slows it down, but very little. Maybe in practice it's more than what they announced. But again, if you bought the M1 chip off the bat, you're gonna have to realize that is gonna be a small sacrifice you have to take. That for the time being it's brand new, and some programs may not work the best with it. Also, since it's the first processor that they make or that they use on those products, it might have its own little kinks. Inspirational podcast. I will inspire you guys. You guys can do whatever you want, whenever you want. You can fly. You can literally fly. I stole that from a Key and Peele sketch. I love that one so much. Oh, that they made self-repair? Oh, yeah, no. That's a whole thing. That's... there's this one YouTuber I watch called Louis Rossman. He works at a repair shop. Well, he owns a repair shop. And he's covered that topic a lot. He's even from a legal standpoint has gone to different places to talk about right to repair. So yeah, so self-repair is not a thing with Apple. It really isn't. Some people have had bad experiences with Apple's coverage plans, like their Apple Care plans. I personally haven't had bad experience with it. Every time I've used it, it's always gone through. It's always been repaired. But some people have had very bad experiences with them not wanting to cover the damages, or just convincing them that they need to buy another phone or another laptop or product. So that's the thing. Great products. I really like Apple products. I'm not gonna lie. I have an Apple phone. I have the case, the special SafeMag case. I have an iPad. I really like their mobile devices. They're very useful to me. And it's an older iPad that's over 6 years old, and it can still keep up with a lot of things. But I will not be buying their computers. Where you bought two iPhones, same kind, and just tell me the phones didn't work. Yeah, because they register each piece to the phone, so everything is intertwined. So if you try to switch out pieces, you can't do that. Some companies, including Apple, will even do that with just new screens. The screen itself has to be registered. Yeah, it happens. I don't mean it happens. That is how it works. But again, expanding on that just a little bit. I understand it sucks. But especially here in America, you vote with your money. Just don't buy the product. I understand a lot of people are like, but we should, yeah, okay, yeah, if you want to, but in the meantime, just don't buy the products. It's like, just go to another company who will let you switch out the battery. Because, yeah, when I was a kid, I had my little flip phone. I had my little Motorola Walkman phone. And I remember taking the back plate off, taking out the battery, and putting a new one in when it swelled up. I do remember that. With Apple, I know I can't do that. And that's something I accept. I have had the screen replaced professionally before. It didn't cost me an arm and a leg, but that was back in the iPhone 4G. No, 3G. In the iPhone 3G. So I know prices have gone super high, especially with the Apple Watches. The Apple Watches, it actually does cost as much to repair the screen than it does to buy a base model watch. But again, I'm careful with my stuff. I understand accidents happen. One day I might drop it by accident. It may not be my fault or anyone else's fault, and I'm gonna have to bite the bullet there. But yeah, it's just not. It's just about don't buy their products. If it angers you that much, don't buy their products. And if they continue that model with even if customers leave them, then I guess they're customers that don't care about that. Like me, I wish I could repair it by myself. But for the time being, I like this phone. I don't like for me. I personally don't like Android. The Android OS operating system. Involve your sponsors. Hey, would you like to sponsor my podcast? Would you like to be able to pick a topic as long as it doesn't go against or contradicts the rules of my chat? Sponsor me. Ding ding. DM me on Instagram. DM me on Twitter. DM me on YouTube. I don't know how to DM people on Twitch. Reach out to me. Q&A. We're going to do... It's always going to be basically Q&A. Basically, it's always going to be Q&A as long as it's on topic. Yeah, I know. My dad, who I live with, always gets the newest Android phone. He always does. He's always up to date. And I'm always the one that looks it up for him, sets it up for him, and everything. And that's his daily driver, basically. He uses it all the time. Same thing with my mom. My mom will usually keep the second to newest one. She doesn't like upgrading every time. My dad does, because he just does. My dad likes technology a lot. I just can't be comfortable with Android. Same thing with my mom. My mom hates iPhones. She cannot touch my iPhone, not because I don't let her, but because she just doesn't know how to work it. She gets very frustrated with it, and then that's the same thing with me with Androids. I just can't use them. So yeah, I do have hands-on experience with different models. My dad right now has the S22 Plus, I believe. I think that's the newest one for Androids that I set up for him. So yeah, I'm up to date with them. It's not that I don't have access to them or I don't know enough about them. Well, it might be that I don't know enough about them because I haven't daily driven an Android ever since my Sidekick. I can't remember what the exact company name is. I think it's a Motorola Sidekick. I can't remember. But it was a phone that basically it was long, and you just flip it out, and you turn it horizontally, and it's like a keyboard. That was the last Android I had. Android OS phone I had. No, I know about Xiaomi. I've heard a lot about Xiaomi. Same thing. For me, when it comes to phones, it's just it comes to phones, it just wins. No, I've seen it. One reviewer I absolutely love how he reviews technology is Michael Brownlee. I forget what his name is. Oh my god. MKBHD, there we go. Yeah, Marquise Brownlee, there we go. Marquise Brownlee, also known as MKBHD. He reviews a lot of different types of phones, mobileware, computers. I absolutely love it. Back when I was little, I used to also watch iJustine, and she was a big iPhone person. And back then, I didn't like iPhones. But then once I got iPhones, I actually really love iPhones. social media. We could talk a little bit about social media, but for me, social media is a very tricky thing. I have social media. I have a multitude of accounts. But for me, yeah. Yeah, I love his reviews. His reviews are awesome. Him, Linus Tech Tips. Linus Tech Tips is more for computers and for laptops. J2 Cents is another person that I really like. Those are the main ones I watch when it comes to technology that I keep myself up to date with. Oh, Bitwit. Also, Bitwit, I like listening to his stuff. Yeah, but social media is an interesting one because I do have all the social medias. Thing is, I know when to get off. I'm not saying people don't know when to get off. I'm just saying I know when to get off. Because it gets to the point where I'm just like, you know what, that's enough negativity. I'm off. And I try to make sure I actually use the little buttons that say I don't want to see content like this. And usually that works. Usually that's enough for that content to start going away. Because people talk about how toxic Twitter can be, how toxic Instagram can be. And it's true. It's very true. It can be very toxic. But I just, simply block those accounts from my view and end of day. Or I'll just read the people who I follow. And I don't try digging through other stuff. Scavenger hunt. Yeah, no, I don't. No, we're not gonna do that. Adults watching children's movie. You know what? That's actually a good one. Because there's a lot of movies that don't really hold up over time. That some of us loved as children. There are some of those. Habits. Study how habits are formed. No. Fitness. The only fitness we're really going to be keeping track of is the one I do. Just to keep you guys up to date what I'm trying to do with my fitness. Sports. I don't really know enough sports. I might talk about stuff if it's like the finals or like NBA finals, NFL Super Bowl, if it's the World Cup, soccer World Cup. I mean, I can't use iPhones simply because of the lack of customization. See, and that's the thing that I don't really care about the customization. I feel like the Android is a little bit too customizable because I just want a phone. For you, it was the UI, right? For me, it's just like I just want a phone. And Android sometimes wants to be a little bit too customizable, where it has like 15 different ways of doing the exact same thing, which I understand why. Because if you want to do it a different way, you have 15 different ways of doing the exact same thing. But for me, it's like, just tell me how to do it, and I'll do it that way. Because I don't want 1,000 things on my screen. I just want one button. That's it. Like on my dad's phone, they can make the perfect phone for me. See, if you want to customize like that, that's fine for you. For me, it's just like I have a phone. There's a button with a telephone icon on it, and there's a button with the messages button on it. And then I have all my social medias in one little folder. That's about it. There's an app for that. Nutrition and weight loss. I'm not going to go into giving people opinions on nutrition or weight loss because I am not qualified at all. And even the stuff I do to keep myself healthy, again, it works for me personally, not for other people. Daily business tip. Daily stock market updates. Breakdown on complicated topics in 5 minutes. Game show. One day we'll do a game show here. I'm going to be here. A podcast about podcasts. Exactly. We're doing this one basically right now. Well, one we're doing right now is basically a podcast about podcasts. Face your fear. Yeah, this is a life experience one. That's a prank podcast. Someone by hosting a prank podcast. Maybe a good example would be with an iPhone. You're getting a Cascadia while with an Android you're getting a tortilla. Oh, quesadilla. With an Android you're getting a tortilla. You can pick and you get to pick the cheese. Exactly. I think that's a good example, Amy. I think we're gonna agree on that one because for me it's just like, just give me cheese and I'll put it on the tortilla. It's still a quesadilla. I'm proud of you, Amy. Good job. You made a relatable reference. Yeah, for me it's just like quesadilla can have basically any cheese. Monterey Jack, mozzarella, queso fresco, queso cotija even. Put some Colby Jack on that thing. Just like, it's still a quesadilla. I'm gonna eat it. And honestly, I don't even care about the variety when it comes to quesadillas. For me, it's just about if you have my ideal cheese is mozzarella, because I just really like mozzarella, and it's a very common basic cheese, so it's not like you can't get it. Investigation, we're not doing it. Random facts, we could do random facts. Podcast for a cause, maybe one day. Parenting podcast, no. I don't. A little tidbit about me. I actually don't plan on having children. It's not that I don't want to have children. It's just I'm not planning on it. So that's a little bit of the difference. Surviving in the wild. I live in the ghetto. Does that count? Gaming podcast. Yeah, that's a lot of what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a lot of gaming podcasts. The blockchain, I have no idea what that is. The metaverse, I have no idea what that is. Like, I know those are topics, but I have not looked into them nearly enough to even say yes or no. Going freelance work is a fun topic. Working from home has ups and downs. I've known people who have been doing it since way before pre-pandemic. I know people who got it during pandemic, and there's a lot of different opinions on it. There's a lot of good ups and downs. If you had my sick mind, you could do a podcast about a pointless calculation. You could. I just don't want to. I ain't gonna do no math. Startups. Maybe. Funny fails. Podcast debate. Critic review. Biographies. How everything is made. That actually would be a fun one to do, is like how things are made. Because I remember there was this show on was the History Channel, I think, that they had that show called How It's Made, and they would show you a bunch of different things. Exactly. Organizational skills. There is a lot of organizational skills. I do enjoy that of organization. It comes down to just realize when your time is up on an activity, just move on to the next one. It's like don't drown yourself doing too much. But there's a lot of different ways to organize yourself for, so that when you cut it off, you're not left behind, or you're not cutting off valuable work. You're actually cutting off at a good point, so you can say, okay, now next point. Challenge yourself. We are going to be challenging ourselves with that, or me, at least. If you guys want to follow along in that journey, we can follow along in that journey. Support group. Alright, right here, talking about more serious things in the description. But honestly, it's like, hi, my name is Yi, and I am addicted to wailing on Genshin. Hi, Yi. Time is like a game of Tetris. You can make an opening if you want to, and if you make mistakes, you're wasting time. Yeah, but it can always be fixed. See, that's the thing. If you make a mistake in Tetris, if you're good enough, you can get it back. In life, time is gone. Simple as that. Time is gone. There's no way to get that gap. No matter how much you build around it. It's just not going to come back. Solve the riddle. We can look up riddles. We can look up riddles and try to solve them together, or find reasoning, or even build one together. Growing pains. There's a lot we could talk about life when it comes to that. There's a lot we could do. Flashbacks. What ifs? Oh, we could definitely do what ifs. There's a point where if you haven't fixed the mistake, you just lose. Well, but that's the thing. That's after consecutive. If there's one mistake in Tetris, it's usually fixable. It's usually fixable if you have the skill. Unless you mess up at the very end, and then that could actually cost you big time. You accidentally rotate it wrong and you end up crossing the line in a vertical fashion when it's a tall piece, then yeah. Conspiracy theories. We're definitely going to go over conspiracy theories, but they're going to be hilarious conspiracy theories. Debunking myths. Maybe. That's actually an interesting one. Political satire. Nothing politics. Living off the grid. I know nothing about living off the grid. Teach a language. We could learn a little bit of Spanish. Y'all want to learn some Español? ¿Cómo están, mi familia? And it'll actually help me practice my Spanish. I know Spanish. I can speak it. I can write it. I can read it. But, again, speaking English all the time kind of does take a little bit out of my Spanish. Alternative methods. Different ways of doing stuff? Maybe. Oh, but that's not like acupuncture, stuff like that. Maybe. Legal cases? Nah. Science? Yeah. Poetry podcast? No. Although I do like poetry. I do enjoy writing poetry and reading poetry. Myth-busting medical myths. I'm going to do it just to anger you, probably. And I'm going to see how long until I actually have to, time you out. It's like, calm down, Amy. Calm down. It's satire. Where is this quote from? Nah. Oh, that's 102. 102 ideas. Oh, nice. Yeah. So that's basically how it's going to go. So this was the very first episode. I'm getting back up on my chair right now. I'm not playing with fire. I'm playing with you and your emotions and your mind. But yeah. So that was the whole first episode of the Pengu podcast. That's our in the works title. We're probably gonna come up with something else later. That's probably what we're gonna spend the whole next episode on. When is that episode gonna come out? I don't know. Will they all be recorded live? I also don't know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for coming. It really does mean a lot. This is gonna be a short stream because it is a podcast, and I don't want to bore you guys too much with me talking for hours and hours. But thank you guys so much for coming. We are gonna be planning much more activities. Hopefully we can get a guest soon. Hopefully we can get maybe an interview in. But overall, let's send you guys off the way we always do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever you are, leave knowing this. You are important. You are loved. You matter. Show love to one another and please take care of yourselves. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and a lot of them can be fixed with us just caring a little bit more about each other. So look out for each other. Say please and thank you to everyone around you. And overall, just spread love. Thank you again, and I hope to see you all soon. Peace out.